Welcome to Performative Society. They light the fire, then watch it burn from a distance. When will we learn? Performative Society. Performative Society. They give you a mask to wear, make dysfunction normal. They don't care. Performative Society. Performative Society. Performative Society.
Every time I come in the kitchen, you in the kitchen, eating up all the food. Welcome to Performative Society. I am Society's stepdaddy, but that's Mr. Stepdaddy to you. This is Societal Programmers, Volume 1, Part 2. This is my personal top 5 societal programmers. Societal programmers normalize toxic behaviors so that you don't grow. They are the cap, as you young folk call it, of what keeps us from growing. While you're out here following their lyrics, they are living in a house on the hill. They light the fire and watch it burn from afar. While I love each and every one of these artists and grew up with most of them, I am also aware of how it programmed me and the people around me. Get your popcorn because this is going to be very interesting. If you feel like you receive anything from this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to Performative Society. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Did I get the order wrong? Is there someone that should be on the list that I didn't put on the list? Let me know. I want to hear from you.
Number five.
In the late 1990s, few record labels were as powerful and influential as No Limit Records. Founded by Master P, also known as Percy Miller, No Limit became a business empire that changed the music industry forever. But along with this success came controversy. The label helped popularize a version of street culture that many critics claim glorified crime, materialism, and the idea that respect comes from appearing dangerous rather than building something positive. Master P was the mastermind behind No Limit. He was more than a rapper. He was an entrepreneur who built an independent music machine that competed with major record labels. His business mindset was revolutionary, but his music often centered around themes of street survival, hustling, and the gangster lifestyle. His brother Silk the Shocker became one of No Limit's biggest stars. Known for his unique offbeat flow, Silk released successful albums and helped define the label's sound. Another member of the Miller family, C. Murder, built a career around darker street narratives before his legal troubles changed his life. Mia X was one of the most respected female artists on No Limit. Known as the First Lady of No Limit, she brought a strong presence and represented women within a male-dominated industry. Mystical became one of the label's most recognizable voices. His aggressive delivery and energetic style helped make him a mainstream star, bringing No Limit even more attention. No Limit's success reached another level when Master P signed Snoop Dogg in 1998. After Snoop Dogg's departure from Death Row Records, Snoop released albums through No Limit, including The Game Is to Be Sold, Not Told, No Limit, Top Dog, and The Last Meal. At its peak, No Limit was releasing music at an incredible pace. 23 albums for the year, which marks one of the most aggressive release schedules in music history. in 1998. The label became known for flooding the market with albums from its large roster of artists. In 1998 alone, the label released a massive number of projects, helping establish No Limit as one of the most commercially successful independent labels of the era. But the question is, what was the cultural cost? When young people repeatedly consume messages that associate success with violence, revenge, luxury, and criminal behavior, those ideas can become normalized. The problem is not that every listener will copy what they hear, but entertainment can influence what society views as acceptable, admirable, and normal. No Limit Records represented both sides of the story. It showed the power of entrepreneurship, independence, and building an empire outside the system. But it also helped push a form of entertainment where the image of the criminal lifestyle was often marketed as a symbol of success. The bigger lesson is that culture creates programming. What society celebrates, repeats, and rewards eventually shapes the values of the next generation.
Mr. Stepdaddy's recommendation.
Number four.
Dr. Dre is widely regarded as one of the most influential producers in hip-hop history. Influence is not always positive, though. His legacy raises an important question. What responsibility do powerful entertainers have when millions of young people imitate what they see and hear? Andre Young, better known as Dr. Dre, grew up in Compton, California, a city that struggled with gangs, drugs, poverty, and violence. He witnessed a harsh environment that many people never escape. Through talent, determination, and opportunity, Dr. Dre built a life far removed from those dangerous streets. He became wealthy, influential, and eventually one of the richest figures in music. Yet, while he escaped that environment, much of the music he helped create continued to portray violence, criminal lifestyles, retaliation, and gang culture as central themes. Albums associated with NWA and later artists helped define gangster rap and became enormously popular around the world. The concern isn't that music alone causes violence. Human behavior is influenced by family, community, education, mental health, economics, and many other factors. Entertainment can shape attitudes, normalize behaviors, and influence what young people see as admirable or acceptable. For impressionable listeners, especially those lacking strong guidance, repeated messages that glorify crime, revenge, and aggression can reinforce unhealthy beliefs and aspirations. While Dr. Dre built enormous wealth through record sales, touring, and business ventures, many of the young people who idolized those lifestyles did not become millionaires. Some pursued images and behaviors that led to arrest, broken families, addiction, injury, and even death. In that sense, critics argue there is a painful contrast. The artists escaped the violence and became rich, while other fans were left embracing lifestyles that harmed themselves and their communities. My criticism should also be balanced with facts. Dr. Dre has made significant positive contributions outside of music. He co-founded Beats Electronics, creating a business that was eventually acquired by Apple for billions of dollars. He has donated millions of dollars to education, including a landmark gift to the University of Southern California with Jimmy Levine to establish the USC Jimmy Levine and Andre Young Academy. He also provided financial support for schools and community initiatives, creating opportunities for future entrepreneurs and creators. Dr. Dre's story is therefore complex. He represents both extraordinary achievement and legacy that continues to spark debate. His success demonstrates what is possible through talent and perseverance. At the same time, his music invites difficult conversations about the influence entertainment has on culture, especially when violence and crime become forms of entertainment. He added gasoline to a fire but watched it burn from a distance. Ultimately, I wonder if he understands society benefits when we celebrate creativity without glorifying self-destruction. The goal isn't to erase history or condemn individuals outright, but to ask whether our most influential voices are encouraging people to build meaningful lives or simply profiting from narratives that too often leave others paying the real price.
Mr. Stepdaddy's recommendation.
Number three. Number three of three. Number three of three.
Too Short is one of hip-hop's longest-lasting artists and a pioneer of West Coast rap. But his career also raises an important question. What impact does decades of sexually explicit and materialistic music have on a society? Born Todd Anthony Shaw on April 28, 1966 in Los Angeles, California, Too Short later moved with his family to Oakland, California, where he was raised. It was in Oakland that he began selling homemade cassette tapes in the early 1980s, building a grassroots following long before major record labels took notice. Too Short released his debut album, Don't Stop Rapping, in 1985. The album introduced this straightforward, explicit style that would become his trademark. Over the following decades, he built a career centered on themes of casual sex, pimp culture, material wealth, and street life. His most recent solo album, Sir Too Short, Volume 1 Freaky Tales, was released in 2024, extending a record career that lasted nearly 40 years. Critics argue Too Short's music helped normalize attitudes that reduced women to sexual objects, portrayed exploitative relationships as entertainment. While many listeners viewed the lyrics as storytelling, it was exaggerated performance. I believe repeated exposure to those messages, especially among younger audiences, can influence cultural norms and shape expectations about relationships. It's important to understand music can reinforce existing attitudes, normalize certain behaviors, and affect what audiences perceive as acceptable or desirable. When millions of listeners repeatedly hear messages that celebrate promiscuous behavior, disrespect, or exploitation, those ideas can become more cultural familiar and, for some, more socially acceptable. At the same time, Too Short became financially successful through music built around those things. He earned wealth, business opportunities, and a lasting career in entertainment. Meanwhile, many fans who imitated the lifestyles glorified in popular music did not achieve the same success. Instead, some experienced unhealthy relationships, legal trouble, financial hardship, and other negative consequences. That contrast has fueled ongoing debate about the responsibility entertainers have when their work reaches impressionable audiences. That said, Too Short's legacy is not entirely negative. Throughout his career, he has encouraged financial independence for artists, spoken about the importance of owning music rights, and participated in charitable events and community initiatives, particularly in Oakland. He also mentored younger musicians and helped develop new talent within the hip-hop industry. Too Short's story is ultimately a complicated one. He helped shape West Coast rap and built a career that few artists have matched in longevity. At the same time, his lyrics continue to generate debate about how entertainment influences culture and personal values. His legacy reminds us that commercial success and cultural influence are not always the same as social benefit.
Mr. Stepdaddy's recommendation. Moderate.
Number two.
Gucci Mane is one of the most influential figures in modern trap music. But with that influence comes an important question. What responsibility do artists have when their music glorifies crime, drug dealing, and violence? Born Roderick Delantic Davis on February 12, 1980 in Bessemer, Alabama, Gucci Mane moved to Atlanta, Georgia as a child, where he was raised. Atlanta would eventually become both the backdrop for his music and the city where he helped shape the trap music movement in a global phenomenon. Before becoming famous, Gucci Mane became involved in criminal activity. In 2005, he was arrested in connection with a fatal shooting of Henry Lee Clark III. Prosecutors ultimately dropped the murder charge after determining there was insufficient evidence to disprove Gucci Mane's claim of self-defense. However, he later served prison time for unrelated offenses, including a 2006 aggravated assault conviction, a probation violation, and later a 2013 federal conviction of possessing a firearm as a convicted felon, which resulted in nearly 3 years in federal prison. Throughout much of his career, Gucci Mane built his image around drug trafficking, firearms, retaliation, and the pursuit of money at almost any cost. While many listeners viewed these songs as stories or entertainment, critics argue that repeatedly celebrating criminal lifestyles can normalize destructive behavior, especially among young, impressionable audiences still developing their values. It's important to remember that music alone isn't to blame. People's choices are shaped by many influences, including family, education, peers, economic conditions, and mental health. However, entertainment can influence culture by making certain behaviors appear glamorous, respectable, or worthy of admiration. When criminal lifestyles are consistently portrayed as symbols of success, some listeners may come to view those behaviors as desirable rather than dangerous. Meanwhile, Gucci Mane transformed his music career into significant personal wealth. Through album sales, touring, business ventures, and entrepreneurship, he built a multi-million-dollar career. I want to point to a stark contrast. While the artist profited from these stories and images connected to street life, many fans who embraced those same lifestyles experienced prison, addiction, violence, or lost opportunities instead of fame and financial success. To his credit, Gucci Mane's life has also become a story of personal transformation. Following his release from federal prison in 2016, he publicly embraced sobriety, improved his physical health, and focused on business, marriage, and personal discipline. He has spoken openly about leaving behind many of the behaviors that once defined his public image. Gucci Mane has also mentored younger artists, helped launch successful music careers, and participated in charitable events including school supply drives, holiday giveaways, and support for families in need. Gucci Mane's legacy remains complex. He helped popularize one of hip-hop's most influential genres, but his music also continues to fuel debate about the messages society rewards and celebrates. His story serves as a reminder that while talent can create extraordinary success, the cultural influence of that success deserves thoughtful examination, especially when millions of young people are listening.
Mr. Stepdaddy's recommendation.
Number one, 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 number star, biggest star, number one, number biggest star, number one.
Pooh Shiesty represents one of the clearest examples of tension between commercial success and personal self-destruction in modern hip-hop. His story raises an important question. What happens when an artist builds a career glorifying the very lifestyle that eventually cost him his freedom. Born Lontrell Donnell Williams Jr. on November 8, 1999 in Memphis, Tennessee, was raised in a city with a rich musical legacy, but also one that has struggled with high levels of violent crime and poverty. Like many artists before him, he transformed stories from the streets into music that quickly gained national attention. His breakthrough came with songs that celebrated intimidation, firearms, retaliation, and street credibility. Millions of young listeners embraced that image, helping propel him to stardom. The concern isn't that music alone creates criminals. Research shows that people's behaviors is shaped by many factors, including family, peers, education, economic circumstances, personality, and community. However, entertainment can influence culture by reinforcing attitudes and making certain behaviors appear admirable and normal. For impressionable listeners, repeated messages glorifying violence and criminal lifestyles can become part of the environment that shapes beliefs and aspirations. Another moment that drew attention was his relationship with Gucci Mane, who signed him to 1017 Records. Gucci Mane invested in Pooh Shiesty's career, introduced him to a larger audience, and helped him turn into one of trap music's fastest rising stars. Yet despite being given an opportunity that many aspiring artists never received, Pooh Shiesty's legal troubles overshadowed that success. In October 2020, Pooh Shiesty became involved in the robbery of two men during what was supposed to be a sneaker and marijuana transaction in Bay Harbors Islands, Florida. According to federal prosecutors, one of the victims was shot during the robbery. Surveillance footage and other evidence linked to the incident to members of his group. In 2022, Pooh Shiesty pleaded guilty to a federal conspiracy charge and was sentenced to 63 months in federal prison. Ironically, many of the themes that helped make him famous became part of his real-life story. The image that attracted millions of fans also became intertwined with the criminal conduct that ultimately interrupted a promising career. Showing serving time in prison didn't rehab him. To top it off, I'm sure he was celebrated. It is also reasonable to consider the environment that shaped Pooh Shiesty. Like many people raised in communities where violent media, crime, and street culture are highly visible, he was likely influenced by a combination of personal experience and entertainment around him. That does not excuse criminal behavior, nor does it mean music determines someone's future, but it highlights how culture and environment can reinforce one another, especially when destructive behaviors are repeatedly rewarded with attention, status, and financial success. Instead of becoming known primarily for his music, much of the public conversation shifted towards his criminal case and imprisonment. One of the most striking ironies involves his hit song, Back in Blood, released in 2020. The song became an anthem built around retaliation, aggression, and street loyalty. While listeners celebrated its energy, its themes mirrored the image that later became associated with his legal problems. Whether intentional or not, the line between entertainment and reality appeared increasingly blurred. His song, FDO, First Day Out, shows how reckless, irresponsible, and thoughtless of a person he is. The question is whether they leave the streets behind or allow the streets to define their future. Pooh Shiesty's story illustrates the high cost of failing to make that transition. His story also shows how harmful media snowballs society. Perhaps the greatest tragedy is how much potential was lost. Pooh Shiesty possessed charisma, lyrical ability, and a rapid growing fan base. He had the opportunity to build generational wealth through music, business, and legitimate success. Instead, years of his life were spent in federal prison, time that can never be recovered. In many ways, he traded freedom for a lifestyle that had already made him successful enough to leave behind. His story is ultimately a cautionary tale. It reminds us that glorifying violence may sell records, but it can also reinforce destructive ideals. Success offers people the chance to write a new chapter in their lives.
Mr. Stepdaddy's recommendation.
There you have it. Even Too Short admitted that it's all of exaggerated performance. You can Google it and look it up for yourself. He admits it, and I give him top-notch credit for that. But it's time that we get together and get ourselves together and become who we are meant to be. But until next time, peace and love.